Mission Delta versus Surfmode. Which one's better? Which one do I like? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. You know that we are the go-to channel for comparisons and for surf setups on budget builds. This is my early 2000s Centurion Cyclone with the C4 Deep V hull. This is the legendary boat for making some of the best surf waves you can get on a budget. I've made tons of videos already showing you how to make the longest, tallest wave with this boat and on any V-drive boat. There are a ton of surf shaper options out there though when you're using an old legacy boat. So that would be a boat that does not have a surf system built in. Some of those are what I have here beside me today. Surfmode being one of them and Mission Delta being the other one. Now, I'm going to talk about kind of the build quality and the features of each, and then we will do a comparison. I will show you this boat setup. I will show you the wave of the Surfmode. I will show you the wave of the Mission Delta, and I will give you a side-by-side comparison of the two waves, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you which one I prefer. Start off with the Mission Delta. This one has a somewhat unique design in that it is one of the few that have a straight up and down component. Now, this is supposed to be installed this way on the side of your boat if we're talking about that side, so the water would actually hit this and then trail off out the side. Now, Mission as a brand has said that this needs to be as far back as possible, so a lot of times you're going to end up mounting it this way so that, well, if I hold it like this, so that the water comes and hits here and comes off. So on my boat particularly, I would mount it on that side of the boat like this, so the water comes, hits here, then goes off. It doesn't seem to make a lot of difference, and you can actually turn this around if you want so that the smooth face is facing the right way. Personally, I just use it this way. It works just fine. This is a single device design, so it is typical to most surf shapers. It is one shaper, you stick it on the back of your boat. For me personally, on this boat, I stick it to the back. I give it a bit of a tip like this so that when the boat actually levels out in the water, it ends up having it plane or flat to the plane that we're traveling along the water. Now I will show you me applying this Mission Delta onto the boat, which you're gonna see as I'm talking about it right now, but we'll show you again a little bit later so you can see the orientation that I use to put the Mission Delta on the boat. Features of this is it is one of the few that have their own custom molds. So the suction cups are giant. They have tons of suction power. These stick on. There's no safety leash because this does float. So if it did fall off your boat, it would float in the water. Now this particular one, actually I found at my lake floating in the water. Now I made efforts to try and find the owner of this device. We posted on all of the social medias in this area. I talked to everyone I could to say who's missing one of these so I could get it back in their hands. Nobody came forward, so it is now mine. So it does come off, it can come off. It has never come off for me in all of the usage that I've done with it. However, obviously it did come off for somebody because that's how I found it floating in the lake. Now on to Surfmode. Now this is what's known as the Maverick system. And with the Maverick system, that means we get two of these. And that's because the placement of these is different than the typical surf system. So this one here, this giant one with this huge wing, the wing has a bit of a dish to it here, which you can see. The surface is very rough, but this one will mount on the back of the boat exactly the same as the Mission Delta. So when I mount it, I stick it on and I also tip it about like this so that when the boat kind of picks up, it ends up flat to the water. Again, I will show you me applying this onto the boat so you can see what that looks like. So now we're gonna attach the new Surfmode system in the same spot. So we're gonna put one right up here. Right there. And then this guy on the back. This has 4 smaller suction cups. Depending on the one that you buy, you may have a newer one that does away with the rear suction cup. Now, there's certain reasons for that, and that is The 3 suction cups is kind of enough, but if you do decide you need extra holding power, you can buy these suction cups as a replacement suction cup, and you can actually put one of these suction cups on the back so that you can have 4 suction cups again. They will not sell you one with 4 suction cups for various legal reasons. As I understand, it has to do with patent issues with other surf shaper systems that have a patent that has a suction cup behind the actual surf tab. So if you did need an extra suction cup or an extra holding power, you can buy that separately and make it so that it has 4 for your needs. Now, it does have this other one, which is just a smaller version of the big guy. It has the same dish to it. It has the same rough surface. And again, this one would normally come with just 2 suction cups in the front and then a soft pad in the back. If you did need extra holding power, you can add a suction cup to the back, just like I have done here. And this one works beautifully. Now this one, you actually end up putting in the middle of the boat. So I basically go to the tow point, which is up there, and then I come over to the side of the boat and I attach it as low as I can at the side of the boat in line kind of with that tow point. I'm actually slightly in front of the tow point, but this is what is the most major difference between the Surfmode brand and pretty much everyone else. Mission Delta is pretty popular. A lot of people have them, so I thought it was a worthy comparison, Surfmode versus Mission Delta. Now, I have done a different video comparing this Surfmode system to a ghetto mode suck gate where you just run 2, similar to this. And if you're curious about, is there anything to the Surfmode itself, or is adding that extra one in the front really what's giving you the difference? You might be surprised at the results. So I encourage you to check that video out after you finish watching this one, of course. Now the build of this is the same as the build of the bigger one. It's just slightly smaller. They do have another surf system that has a 3rd suction cup that goes up in the front. Because of the angle that this boat goes in the water when I'm traveling, the front end is out of the water anyway, so it would never touch the water. It wouldn't help me at all. But if your boat is sitting more flat in the water while you're at surfing speeds, you could consider the system that has a 3rd suck gate or shaper that goes up on the front. But we're comparing just this Maverick system. Now, as far as cost, the cost for the 2, obviously the Mission Delta is a little bit cheaper because it's just 1 surf system, whereas the Maverick is a 2 suck gate or a 2 surf shaper system, so there's a little bit more cost, but I do find the cost quite comparable. Shipping's actually quite fast. They do have inventory of both. You can get both pretty much wherever you want, and the Surfmode you can get from their website. I will put a link in the description that gives you an additional, I think they'll get like 10% off or something that you can use. The link in the description for that. This guy, I can also put a link for this guy if you're looking at that. At the end of the video, you decide, Mission Delta is the one for me. I'll have links for both in the description. So now the next thing to do is to load up the boat. Now you guys are gonna wanna know, how do you load the boat? So I'm gonna flip the camera around. I'll walk you through exactly what we have for weight in this boat when we are surfing. So this is the back of the boat. All of my weight is in the back. So straight down on the floor here, I have factory ballast. It's about 400 pounds. It sits right around here. I fill that full, all the way full, 400 pounds. Now, if I come to the back here in the lockers, I have, let me open this guy up. In this locker right here, this is, I don't know, port and starboard, but this is my surf side. So if this is the back of the boat, I surf on this side of the boat. This is my surf side. This is a 900-pound ballast bag. Now, when this is full, it actually fills up the entire compartment, and I do not get the full 900 pounds. If I had to guess, I probably have around 800 pounds of ballast on this side, and that is with this locker 100% completely full, about 800 pounds. In this side, I have another ballast bag. This is a 750-pound ballast bag, and this one I do fill full, so I get about 750 pounds in this side. Up front, I have no ballast. I do not put any ballast up in the front at all. No ballast at all. So all of my ballast is, if you can see here, this is my tow point. All of my ballast is behind the tow point. It should be noted that I have a fuel tank that goes somewhere in this area, and I do get a bit better surf wave when I have a full tank of gas versus half a tank of gas. So if you have issues with weight, you may need some ballast up front, but because my fuel tank is in this area, that is all the front ballast that I need. Now that we've talked about ballast, we've talked about putting these on, let's talk about the speed. So the speed that I run at is about 11 miles per hour. If you want a taller wave, you can drop down to like 10.7, but really at 11, you're gonna get a tall wave and it's gonna be a long wave. If you want something that's more of a skim style wave, so it gets a little bit longer, gets a little bit more power, but isn't quite as tall, you can bump up to about 11.5 miles per hour, but typically I'm riding about 11 miles per hour. And in this video, the wave that we are testing is done at 11 miles per hour with the ballast, exactly what you've seen here. The next thing we gotta do is just throw these things on the side and check out our wave. So first we're going to look at the Mission Delta wave. We're gonna put our Mission Delta on the side of the boat and then we're gonna jump in the water and take off. So now that we've seen the Mission Delta in action, it is time to swap over to the Surf Mode system. Remember, we're gonna put one in the back, we're gonna put one in the middle, and then we're gonna do the same thing, same ballast setup, same speed, same day surfing, everything's the same board, same rider, same everything. We're gonna jump in the water and let's get going. Now that you've seen both individually, let's show them both together, side by side, so that you can decide which one you think looks a little bit better than the other.
Fly away. It's the first time of today. Superhero.
Now that you've seen them both side to side, it's time for the confession. So one thing that you probably noticed right off the bat is both waves look great. The Mission Delta wave looks good and the Surf Mode wave looks good. And in fact, when I was doing the Mission Delta wave, I was thinking to myself, because I did that first, and I've been using the Surf Mode for a little bit, and I did the Mission Delta wave, and I was like, you know, actually, this isn't so bad. The Mission Delta is not so bad. This wave feels really, really good. And as you saw in the video, it looks really, really good. But when I put the Surf Mode back on, and I went out and was surfing on the Surf Mode, it was so much better. The wave I had so much more confidence. The wave had more push throughout the whole wave. I could go all the way back, get lots of push. I could come to the front and have still lots of push. So the wave height looks about the same between the two. The wave didn't get really any taller to look at, but there's something more there with the Surf Mode. And that makes a big difference when you're looking at tricks and you're looking at just, you know, new riders who need more effective range on that wave. So for me, the Surf Mode is actually the better wave out of the two. So if I had no surf system at all, I would certainly go and buy the Surf Mode. Hands down, I'd get the Surf Mode. I would not mess around with anything else. I've tried them all. I've tried Mission Delta, I've tried the Suck Gates, I've tried Swell, I've tried them all. Surf Mode is the best. So at the end of the day, the moral of the story is quite simple. If you have nothing, get Surfmode. It's the best system you can get, and it'll make the best wave on your boat that you can get, period, hands down. If you already have something, stick with that. Unless you're not happy, then get Surfmode. And I know this was a really long video to tell you just get Surfmode, but there were some secrets in here that would also help you out. The placement of the suck gates, the ballast setup, the speed, all of that, it's all hidden within this video. So if you are wondering what the best way to set up your surf system is, do exactly what I did, and you will have one of the best waves on the lake, I promise. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.